Hello and welcome to the Fatpants podcast, a self-proclaimed garbage disposal. You all can call me Pants.
And I'm Slacky, the guy who can't say no to queso.
What lies ahead is the final battleground for all food disputes, big and small. No matter the state, the culture, or the country, there's one thing that everyone understands, and that is Fat Pants. All right, Slacky. So the Super Bowl is coming up, and I think it's super important that we touch on the obvious subject, snacks. So let's start off nice and easy. What do you consider to be the ultimate Super Bowl party snack?
So I'm going to ask you a question real quick. Do you know what Rotel dip is?
Unfortunately, I do.
Rotel dip is the greatest thing that mankind has ever created when it comes to snacking. It is a block of Velveeta cheese mixed with diced tomatoes and peppers, which is where Rotel comes from, and you microwave it because this is America. We microwave everything. And and then you come with this beautiful, glorious bowl of golden, cheesy, delicious goodness. It is my favorite snack when it comes to Super Bowl.
All right, so right off the bat, if someone comes to my house to my Super Bowl party with Rotel dip, I'm closing the door on them.
Why?
Because Velveeta, one, disgusting.
Of course. But
So like you're opening the door holding melted plastic and canned tomato. Canned tomato, I don't have a problem with, realistically, but it's so offensive to me that the plastic cheese exists, and I just don't want it.
it's the most glorious like snack for the Super Bowl. Let's not forget that we Americans named the biggest game in the year the Super Bowl, which is the stupidest name to name any game. So why not bring a dish that's equally stupid with plastic cheese and canned vegetables? And you can even ground up some meat or some turkey and throw that in there too. That's really good added in there too.
All right, so you're not wrong that all those things are good, but there's one immensely critical issue, and that it's the base component is plastic. And if you're gonna say that a dip is the best snack to bring, one, I would argue that a dip is not totally a snack, but there are better dips.
You're
For
right.
example, buffalo chicken dip,
Mm.
literally the actual best Super Bowl food. Well, or snack, not food. Spinach dip, also very good. It's a good balance to the buffalo chicken dip. Rotel dip has no place at my table, um, because what I don't want halfway through watching all of my fun commercials is to have like terrible upset body because I'm full of cheese.
Okay, time out. I'm gonna have to throw a tangent on this. You're not a commercial guy, are you? You're not the guy that's like, everybody shut up. I gotta listen to the commercials during the biggest football game of the year.
It's like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't care about football at all. I'm
Mm,
only watching
not
for the
surprising.
commercials. Um, and even then, there's a really good chance that I'm not even there for the commercials. I'm there to eat the food that other people brought. And then the next morning, I'm going to watch the BuzzFeed article that says, here's the best commercials. And then I'm going to watch IGN's article or video that says, here were the best commercials. I'm going to watch both of those. And then I'm going to go talk about all of the commercials, because I don't know who wins. I don't care who wins. Chances are I'm not even there when the game ends.
It's true. I mean, I would say that's probably 60% of America, maybe even more,
And that's fine.
that really only care about the commercials versus the actual game. You're the kind of guy that probably makes your list too. Do you have like a list going like, oh, that Doritos commercial was on point?
No, I can't be bothered to
Okay.
organize any kind of list of commercial things. Like I'll remember like one or two funny commercials and I'll go, those were pretty good. Um, but I am more likely to get back in my car. Like if I go to somebody's house, get back in my car, and as I'm driving home, I'll reminisce and be like, man, like that jalapeno honey cornbread was fantastic. Or oh, that Rotel dip that Slacky brought. I am never gonna trust him to bring any food to my house ever again.
All right, well, let's move on to other snacks since you hate Rotel dip.
And
Um,
that's look, and that's a preference. That's specifically an anti-plastic preference.
no, I mean
Um,
you're allowed your terrible opinions.
and
Um,
that's fine.
crackers and cheese. I'm a big crackers and cheese guy. Like even if you bring in like the pepperoni too. I mean,
Sure.
I'm a kid, you know, at heart. I grew up with Lunchables. I have to keep that vibe going. You know, that's what charcuterie boards are these days anyway. They're just adult Lunchables. You know.
100%. And that's there's nothing wrong with that. For New Year's, we didn't go out just because I was still sick, but we picked up some various cheeses and cured meats, etc. To make a nice little charcuterie board for us to enjoy
A Lunchable.
home. Yeah, which is fine. I'd rather it cost the same as a Lunchable, but that's neither here nor there.
Along the same lines as a charcuterie board, my wife introduced me to a new concept the other day. You're not ready for this, but I'm just going to throw it at you. It's called a butter board.
All right,
And
hold on. We're I
it's
I want to
exactly what you're thinking.
um
Let me get through this real quick. It is a carving board that is
mhm,
slathered with butter.
I hate
and
that.
and you throw your herbs and your spices, and you can even put like fruits and vegetables on it, and
Mhm.
around the side of the board you have hunks of bread or crackers, and it's literally a bread and butter board. Pants, your thoughts?
One, what? Two, why? Because on paper and in practice, I think that a butter board is a crime. Um, it's not the first time I've seen it, but I don't ever want to see it physically in front of me. It feels it feels like you're trying to be fancy, but all you had was butter and some spices at the ready. And it's like
Yes.
and it's like, yeah, we didn't really want to bring any food. So we just threw 3 pounds of butter on a board.
What do
And
I have in the fridge? I have 8 sticks of butter.
yeah,
Done.
like that sounds horrible. And I'm sure it's great. Like I'm sure you could put down some nice whipped butter or
Hmm.
something and drizzle some honey over it, and it's delicious. But I just don't want it. I don't think people should be just casually eating butter. I think there's a lot of issues with like the general dietary habits of people, and I don't think we should allow butter boards just on principle.
It's a very American idea of let's just fill ourselves with bread and butter.
Sure, and don't get me wrong, bread and butter, delicious. Um,
100%.
but I don't think, yeah, I
But
can't get
to
behind it.
to glorify it that way
Yeah.
in a form of let's just put it on a cutting board and that's it.
Oh yeah.
Like suburban
Like
housewives, what are we doing?
like fondue, not a great look. What's it? Raclette. I don't know if you know what that is. It's basically you just make your whatever, and then it's raclette cheese. They basically broil like the cut face of it, and then just like with a huge, I don't know, knife, I guess, just like smush all the broiled melted cheese off of the giant cheese hunk onto your food. Sounds really good. Looks really good. It probably tastes fantastic, but as a
Yeah.
concept, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's there's a lot of that out there. Um, I'm gonna move on to a few more
Yeah,
snacks that are
sure,
some of my favorite.
sure.
So I'm gonna go here on my list. I have jalapeno poppers, which are one of my favorites.
Jalapeno poppers
Um,
are top tier. I'm gonna say it right
so
now.
and I'm gonna pivot to something a little bit different. You know what rattlesnake eggs are? You're
Um, I
familiar with this
I
term?
think what I know them as are armadillo eggs, but what is
Okay.
a rattlesnake egg?
It is a fresh jalapeno that's probably either been like grilled or something, and you cut it in half, and you fill it with cream cheese, wrap it in bacon,
Mm-hmm.
and then you either like you can grill it on the grill or you can do it in the air fryer. So it's basically just a fresh grilled jalapeno with cream cheese and bacon wrapped.
Okay, so an armadillo egg is very slightly different. It's exactly what you said, but between the bacon and the jalapeno is sausage. Um,
Interesting.
so you take your jalapeno, you stuff it with your cheese, and then you wrap that in pork sausage, and then you wrap that in bacon, and then you smoke it.
Because the bacon wasn't piggy enough, we had to add more pig to it.
Yes.
Oh,
And then
the
and
swine is divine.
this is completely out of nowhere. Um, I had a conversation earlier today about beef plate bacon, which is just beef bacon. I don't know if you've ever had it, but
Beef bacon.
it's all of the crispy, crunchy, still a little chewy goodness that bacon gives you with
Hmm.
a steak flavor, and it's unmatchable.
I'll have to try this.
I had it for the first time probably a few years ago, because
Mm.
and I got it on a whim. I went to get bacon for something, and it was just really expensive, and I couldn't be bothered to pay those prices. And I saw that beef plates, which is what they're sometimes marked as because it comes from beef plate.
Yeah.
It was like half the price, and I went, okay, well, I'm gonna save a few bucks and experience a new thing. This might be bad or not, who knows? And it was fantastic. And I haven't had it maybe more than once or twice since then. But it's a fantastic piece of food to consume.
I have not had that before. I will definitely put it on my radar. I am a huge bacon guy, and I feel like if you're not a huge bacon guy, then you're probably a serial killer. So,
Now, see, that's a bold claim. I know a lot of people that are anti-bacon, um, because bacon is definitely
crazy people.
um, bacon is like the golden child of the internet, where like bacon is the anti Nickelback of of foods, where people just love bacon because it's bacon, and I think there are some people who just secretly don't really care for
That
bacon,
scares me.
which is fine. I love bacon, but beef plates, I'm telling you, like you're gonna have
Okay.
this and you're gonna go bacon who.
It's on the list. Beef plates. Next snack, potato skins. I'm a huge potato skins guy. Love these things. I'm curious to what your perfect potato skin is.
Maybe this is a regional thing. I don't think I've really ever like had potato skins outside of like a restaurant as like an appetizer. I would just rather have a baked potato. Like I don't see what the critical difference is, and like I'd rather just have the potato.
I feel like potato skins are more versatile, handheld. You can kind of
Sure.
take it with you. Whereas a baked potato, how weird would you look just carrying around a baked potato? You know, especially if
Yeah,
it's still in
that's fair.
if it's still in the foil. I think
But
potato skins are like baked potatoes to go. You could dress it up. You put the cheese, the bacon, the sour cream, even a little ranch. You know,
I feel
I'm
like
from Texas. I put ranch on everything.
I
Let's
feel
be
like
honest.
baked or potato skins are just the countryman's deviled egg.
Are
Like
you
in
do
my
not
head, I I think those are very similar things.
don't talk don't talk about deviled eggs. In the negative way. Deviled eggs are way up on my list. Way up on my list.
We'll save that for another episode because I have some things to say about
Mm.
deviled eggs.
Can't wait. Can't wait. One of the wifey's favorites, peel and eat shrimp. The
Oh yeah,
boiled shrimp,
yep, just like
with
cocktail shrimp.
100%, normal as you can get cocktail sauce. Maybe a couple of dashes of Tabasco
Oh,
in
see,
that in that cocktail sauce.
and that's where I'm a little different there.
Mhm.
So peel and eat shrimp for me, I could go through probably 7 to 8 dozen cocktail shrimp, but I grew up always having really like spicy foods, things that are spicy from like an aromatic standpoint. So like I'm a big horseradish person. So when I have cocktail sauce, which is really only like one of two ways that I want ketchup to enter my mouth, I want this cocktail sauce to clear my sinuses and make my eyes water.
You're looking for the spicy stuff.
But not like hot spicy. Like I want the horseradish to carry carry the team. Some Tabasco's good. I might even throw like a little blip of like sriracha or something hot, but with good flavor into it. Maybe not sriracha now that I'm thinking about it, but something that'll make it give it good flavor to mask the ketchup portion of it. Yeah, I think peel and eat shrimp are probably one of the better options. I think if I have a party, a Super Bowl party, and somebody brings like a massive shrimp ring, one,
Mhm.
I know that that person spent some money. They're in my good graces because they went the extra mile to make sure that what they brought was good. And anyone that is allergic to shrimp knows that they can go sit on the other side of the room. Other than that,
Yes.
everyone's happy about a shrimp ring coming to the party.
See, I growing up, I wasn't a big seafood guy. I didn't actually start eating seafood until after I met my wife. She's from Louisiana. She's a huge seafood person. Like she even does the raw oysters. You know,
Sure.
congratulations on that. And not touching those snot things
No,
in
I'm
a
good.
million years. Um, but shrimp was never really on my radar. I feel like shrimp is like the introductory class to seafood. You
Sure.
know, it's safe, it's a little meaty, but not like, but it's
Yeah.
not too fishy
Hmm.
either, you know? I feel like shrimp is really good introductory class to seafood, unless you're highly allergic and the smell of it will close up everything and you die.
Yeah, and that's just a human flaw. Like that's fine. But I agree 100% that shrimp is a very good entryway into the world of seafood.
I'm gonna circle back real quick.
Sure.
Horseradish sauce. I feel like that's a traditional, like a New England northeastern kind of thing. When
Hmm.
I think of horseradish sauce, I think of Arby's horsey sauce, and it immediately disgusts me.
I'm not gonna go to bat for Arby's, or anything called horsey sauce. I refuse. But I have had horseradish sauce other places. It's probably like just horseradish and some kind of either like cream, or it might even be like mayo and horseradish or something. It's good though.
Mm. It's one of those dips where it's like, don't tell me what's in it, but it tastes
Yeah.
pretty damn
Like
good.
there's a pretty good chance that it's some kind of aioli in quotes. It's just mayonnaise and horseradish. Who knows? I don't want to know. But I do like horseradish. But I didn't realize that was a very regional thing.
I didn't grow up with the horseradish. I mean, it was available. I
Sure.
think it just wasn't preferred, like I'm
Hmm.
more of a cocktail sauce kind of guy. And
Okay.
the cheaper the better, you know. Give me the
Interesting take.
give me the grocery store brand
Hmm.
cocktail sauce. Don't church it up with your herbs and spices or whatever. Just I think you mentioned it was mainly ketchup. I like ketchup. Ketchup's very versatile,
I'm
almost as
not
versatile as ranch.
I'm not a ketchup. I'm not a ranch guy either. I
Ugh,
don't want to get crucified for this. I like
ugh,
ranch here and there, but I'm not. It's not gonna
literally,
be. It's not ever gonna
literally
be my
shaking my
first
head.
choice. It's not my favorite salad dressing by far.
Mm.
I can think of probably about 2 dozen salad dressings that I like better,
That's hurtful. Two
but
dozen, that's hurtful.
at least they're all just variants of like Italian dressing though. So there's a lot because there's so many variants. We're
You're an
gonna
oil and vinegar guy, aren't you?
I am sometimes.
Okay.
But we'll come back to
Mhm.
ranch in a few minutes. One last snack thing to offer up as an okay snack for the Super Bowl, and this kind of falls in line with your cheese and pepperoni. Just cut veggies, like a nice cut veggie tray with
God, what a give up.
it's just nice. It's nice and refreshing.
It's a give up.
It's
Who brings vegetables to a Super Bowl party?
the same
Please
person
keep
who
keep your
brings cheese and
salad out of this.
crackers. Um,
No, that's different. That's
no,
that's cheese and crackers. That's good. Vegetables, stop trying to make this healthy. This is a Super Bowl party. This isn't, tea and cakes in the garden, my guy.
but here's what I'm saying. Like even like a nice onion dip,
Ugh,
you throw
okay.
some baby carrots in there, some some bell pepper sliced up, maybe some
Is this for the
broccoli
is
hunks.
this for the kids? Is this for the kids table? Is that what
This
this is
this
for?
is I need something to break up the 2 pounds of buffalo chicken and rotel dip that are in my body. I need some semblance of a nutrient so my body
Wow.
doesn't seize up.
This is
Um,
Super Bowl, man. You got to power through.
And that's what the broccoli and the bell pepper slices are for. It's to
Oh,
help power through all of the indigestion and heartburn that I'm going to have for the next 2 weeks.
the
Because
Tums are for.
that's fair. I'm not old enough to need Tums yet, but I don't think I'm far off. Okay, so if veggies are off the table, there's one more iconic snack that I think we're missing. That's not quite a snack. Hot wings. Every good football game has hot wings somewhere nearby, and I like we've already had this discussion outside of this podcast, and we've had this discussion at more than once, and it is a unanimous decision that that wing flats are better than wing drums, and the only acceptable time to choose a drumstick over a flat is if you're in high school or earlier, because drumsticks are a child's food.
100%. 100% agree. Flats are far superior chicken wing. And I feel like, you touched on this. I feel like you don't realize that until you get older,
Sure.
because you got your fat little baby fist holding onto the drumstick,
Mhm.
I mean, it's a staple of childhood. And then when you grow up, you put all childish things aside like drumsticks and you embrace the flat. It's a it's
It's just a
better. It's
better piece. 100%. It's
yes.
it's a better eating
Mm,
experience. It's easier to dip in a sauce. Like if you want to have ranch with your wings, I'm a blue cheese guy, but if you like ranch on your wings, dipping a drumstick, one dip is okay if they're big, but outside of that, you're done. You can't get anything else in. You're not getting a good sauce to meat ratio. And then the same goes for hot sauces in general. Like the sauce on your hot wings on a drumstick, you're not getting anything.
yeah. Yeah.
The
It's
flat
it's
is just it's
again,
globally superior.
the stick gets most of the flavor, not really the meat, to be
Exactly.
honest, when it comes to a drumstick. I think the
Usually it's
flat
called a
is far
bone,
superior.
but
Yeah. Stick. I mean,
yeah,
for all intents and purposes,
the
it's a
stick,
drumstick. I'm just
sure.
going to call it stick.
Yeah,
You know,
that's fair. It's not called a drum bone. I understand.
that'd be weird.
In regard to wings, what is your preferred wing?
Garlic parmesan, number
What the
one,
fuck?
all the way.
All
I'm a
right.
garlic parm guy. I
Not
know.
even a hot wing. Eat
I just
garlic
crashed.
knots. Just eat garlic knots. It's bread with garlic parm is not
Mhm.
wing dressing. It's that goes on
It's
bread or pasta.
wow,
Garlic
shamed.
parm is a subpar choice.
Imagine getting shamed for my preferences. I'm also a
Yes.
big honey barbecue fan. I like the sweet barbecue versus the more vinegary,
Okay.
salty barbecue flavors.
Sure.
And I do like the classic buffalo. I am not a big spicy foods guy.
Okay.
I don't like when you bring my wings out. I like the classic buffalo flavor. I like the flavor. Like you mentioned the buffalo chicken dip earlier, like
Sure.
superior dip.
Sure.
But when it comes to the classic buffalo on a wing,
Hmm.
please don't try to kill me.
Oh,
Okay?
see, I
I
want.
like to I know I want to taste the flavor, not absolutely destroy my mouth
Oh no,
with nonsense.
I want to be crying. I want snot leaking from my face.
You are from the Northeast, aren't
Oh
you?
god,
God.
I am. And the spice is so good. And like there are some spices that are just hot because like
Yeah.
just to be hot. Those aren't good. I don't want that.
Like
I want
like
something.
the one chip challenge, like we're just gonna murder you with death and
So I
hotness.
will say I like the one chip challenge chip. It's
Of
really
course you do.
good. The Pocky is the brand who makes that.
Mhm.
They make ghost. I think they're ghost chili or ghost pepper, whatever it's called, ghost pepper chips that you can just buy in like a family size bag. I go to town on those. Those are so
Like
good,
why?
and I just count that all that sweating is cardio.
Just gross.
But
It's
I like a hotter wing.
yeah,
But it has to have
it's fine.
flavor to it.
I'm pretty sure I can hear everybody thinking Slacky's a wimp, but I don't care. Garlic parm's my favorite.
Hey,
I
that's
really enjoy that flavor.
now
The classic
you don't dip your garlic parm wings in ranch, do you?
is a bear poop in the woods. Of course I do. Of course I
Uh,
dip it in the ranch.
I don't think garlic parm and ranch go together.
Wow.
Like the
It's
so
your
the
it's
idea
your
and like
terrible opinion.
that's very possible. Um, But I feel like the ranch, or in my case, the blue cheese, like the idea is that is to balance out the heat, so you're getting the good flavor that comes with an incredibly hot wing sauce.
I'll agree with you on one thing. I do like blue cheese. I am a blue cheese guy on
Sure,
salads too,
that's
and
fair.
I feel like that's a very low demographic in that department. I think blue cheese gets shit on by a lot of people, and I think it's a really well done dressing on salads and with the buffalo flavor wing. I think
Sure.
it's a really good combination.
I think blue cheese as a salad dressing is like bottom 10th percentile for me. It's good to dip all sorts of things in, but I don't really want it on my salad. Um, I'm
Uh,
gonna
give me your wing preferences. I know you like them spicy as all hell, but any other flavors that you're all about?
my wing preference. I I like a grilled wing. I'm not a breaded wing guy. I don't really.
Okay.
I can't be bothered with a breaded wing because if I don't eat them at Mach 10 speed, they just get soggy and gross. The my favorite wing specifically is from a small dive bar where I grew up. What they would do is they would grill their wings, toss them in their sauce, and then re-grill them with the sauce on it, and it would sear the sauce into the wing, and it just had like a it would give you like a good crunch where the sauce almost like burned a little bit, and then they would resauce them so it was still like a good sauce flavor and like sauce to wing ratio. But I think my go-to is going to be anything that's listed as this is the wing that's going to kill you.
Oh God.
So I like
You like
sweet
pain. You like pain is what you like.
only with wings. I
I
like
can't imagine.
I just so I have a lot of superpowers, and most of them are related to eating, which is fortunate for me, unfortunate for my waistline. But I can just eat hot food with no issue. Katie got me garlic ghost pepper, or no, garlic Carolina Reaper hot sauce, and I just put it on everything. It's so good.
That
Um,
just
I
makes
think
my esophagus
I think I
hurt.
got I think I got 9 bottles of hot sauce for Christmas. Um, because everyone knows it's like I only really like a small handful of things, and
Hmm.
food wise I like everything, but hot sauce is really like my jammy jam.
I'm gonna take you on a tangent real quick.
Sure, sure.
Are you a Tabasco guy? Are you a Cholula guy?
So I will only eat Cholula with eggs.
Eggs. Yeah,
I think
fair, fair.
I think Cholula on eggs is the perfect way to consume it.
Yep.
Otherwise, any kind of proteins, I think Tabasco is a little bit better. I like that really vinegar kind of taste that Tabasco brings, but
Yeah.
um, I don't like when I get like a fancier sauce and it has a really like heavy vinegar taste when it's got like 50 other ingredients in it. Like I don't want vinegar to be the only flavor, but like especially on a wing. On a wing, I want to be able to taste the peppers and the spices that are in whatever hot sauce I'm eating, because that's really the heat is fun. It makes it an enjoyable experience from a flavor perspective. But I am ultimately looking for something that has a good taste to it.
Yeah. I will agree with you on one thing. I do prefer a grilled wing over a breaded and fried, I guess you could say, wing. I feel like the
Sure.
flavor of the sauce comes out better. Um, what's your thought on dry rub? Are you a dry rub guy, or does it have to have the sauce?
I don't mind a dry rubbed wing. If I'm getting dry rub wings, I'm not gonna get them from a chain. There's a barbecue place not too far from me now that they do all like all their own smoking and things like that. Like a dry rubbed smoked wing is fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, and usually what I'll do is I'll get dry rub wings there, and I'll just be like, hey, like, can I pay an extra dollar and get a cup of like a ramekin of this sauce, and they're like, I don't care, and they just give me whatever I ask for, which is great.
Yeah. I love how you navigated dry rub without saying dwy wub.
It's
Well
a
done. Well
skill.
done.
I'm a
Yeah.
master of talking. I never stop.
You are a master of talking. It's getting you to shut up is the problem.
Oh yeah, that's never gonna happen. But let's move on from wings. I am curious what some people, like some other people's wing flavor preferences are. So I'm gonna have to, survey some people later today and see what other people like, because now I'm curious.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the final topic that I wanna get into. Not necessarily an issue, but I think is a problem that some people face both hosting parties and attending Super Bowl parties. And the question is, how much is too much to bring to somebody else's house, and conversely, how much is too little to bring? Like the guy who shows up with one or two bags of chips,
What a give up.
like you don't have to bring your whole pantry, and
Right.
you don't have to bring anything to some places. Like, it depends on the dynamic that you have with these people. But I was raised to not go anywhere. Like, if someone invites me to their home, I'm bringing something.
Don't go empty handed. 100%.
Exactly. But now that I think about it, I want to take a hot tangent from this. Do you have a preferred chip? Like, if you're gonna sit down and watch, maybe not the Super Bowl, but just like you're gonna watch a game. Do you have what's your go to, or even a movie? Like, you're gonna watch something. What's your go to chip choice?
I'm a Doritos guy.
Interesting.
Um, I'm a nacho cheese, Cool Ranch. I would probably have
Again with the
those
ranch.
1A and 1B. You're not a Cool Ranch guy?
No, I'll Cool Ranch is my least favorite Dorito, I think.
Mm, yeah, that's not surprising. Uh, I do enjoy the nacho cheese, probably maybe like a little bit above the Cool Ranch. I'm huge Doritos guy. I do love the Cheetos. I loved the puffs, not the crunchy. Okay, I'm a
Like
Cheeto
Cheeto.
puffs.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm Team Crunchy.
Okay.
I'll die for a crunchy Cheeto. They're delicious. Coming back to Doritos real fast.
Mm.
Spicy sweet chili Doritos, the purple bag.
That's the purple bag. I was gonna say, yeah,
It's without a doubt the best. Like, for me,
it's good.
it's they're the most flavorful Dorito, I
That's good.
think.
There's a reason they made a taco out of the nacho cheese shell. I mean,
Yeah, so like,
it's number one right now.
and
I'm
I get
sorry.
it. I'm not
Nacho
like
cheese Dorito is number one.
I get it. Nacho cheese is like that's your entry level Dorito. But you know what no one's ever done? No one's ever been like, man, this nacho cheese Dorito is unmatchable. Nothing will ever top this. Like, if Doritos said, you know what? This is it. This is the best flavor we've ever come up with. No reason to even expand this. I'd agree with you that it's the best flavor. But they went, yes, people seem to like these. What else can we do? When you ask what else can we do, you're admitting that there's better things.
I feel like the purple Doritos though are a bit of a give up. I think they got lost between let's try to make a spicy chip, but let's not make it super spicy. And the self-proclaimed not a spicy guy, what's the point of making a chip that they call chili and it not have a little bit of heat? It's mild at best. It's just a worse version of the nacho cheese, honestly. I would say even Cool Ranch is way better than the sweet chili or whatever. It's bland. It's not good. My pants. Are you a Funyuns guy?
Um, I think ultimately no. I'm not gonna ever pay money for them, but I think if I was somewhere and there was just like a bowl with some Funyuns in it, I'd go, yeah, all right, I'll have one or two of them. But it's not really my go-to. I don't know if you have them, because I think they might be a regional chip for
Mhm.
me. But are
Not
um,
familiar.
Munchos are almost the consistency of like packing peanut,
Huh.
where
You're
it's
selling me here, buddy. You're selling me.
like there's no good way to describe it, but they are probably one of the most enjoyable chips. In the same way that like a puffy Cheeto just kind of
Mm-hmm.
dissolves into nothing.
Mm.
A Muncho just
What's the
dissolves
flavor?
into
But what's the
it's
flavor?
just
Is it just
potato. It's just a potato chip. It's just a salty
so it's
potato
just
chip.
it's bland. It's just bland.
No.
Oh.
That's like, will you eat plain Lay's potato chips?
Fair. I'm only eating the plain potato chips like the Lay's and the Ruffles
Mm-hmm.
if I have a dip.
Sure.
Don't sell short the idea of dipping your Ruffles
Mm-hmm.
in your queso.
No,
That's
Ruffles
that's
are
top tier too.
probably the best chip in general. I like a
Well,
wavy like
wave,
ridged chip.
yeah.
It's more crunch. The crunch really ticks all my boxes. Munchos are Munchos are just really, they're a creature of their own kind. Think of like a pork rind, but it's made of potato. That's a much better way to describe it.
And we can both agree that pork rinds are absolutely disgusting.
They're fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Like without a doubt, the worst snack food. But
Yeah, like
let's come back because now I forgot that we were talking about a real thing. What do you consider to be too much for something, like if you like you're sitting down, you're setting out your horrible butter board and you got like a 10 by 10 just plank of butter on your countertop. All your friends come over with their snacks and things. What do you think is too much stuff for someone to bring to your Super Bowl party?
um I feel like a Super Bowl party is all about like snacks and sides. So if you're bringing an entree, whether it's like I'm just doing on
Sure.
top of me like some ham,
Okay.
or like you're trying to cook a meal for
Mhm.
people and then you bring it's like, like we're gonna like this is a Super Bowl party. We're gonna be getting up. There's gonna be a lot of moving around. There's gonna be a lot of watching the TV, obviously, whether it's for the commercial or for the game. And then, hey, I gotta get up. I gotta grab a beer. I gotta get up and I'm gonna grab some more of these, this butter board because it's amazing. And if you're trying to bring something over where it's like, hey, everybody, let's sit down and have a meal, you're
Sure.
an absolute trash person. Like nobody wants to hang out with you.
I think there's one exception to someone who brings like a massive tray of like higher level food. And that's if somebody that has a smoker or something like that brings pulled pork or something like that, where it's a little bit of a production to serve and eat. I think that's like the only instance where that's okay because you know that that person put some real time and effort into that.
Right.
But I can agree that bringing like a big thing like that is just like, whoa, way too much.
This isn't Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
This is a Super Bowl party. And the other end of it, please don't be that guy that brings the 2 liter of Diet Coke. Like, God, what a give up.
Yeah.
If you're gonna bring drinks, and this also goes along the same lines as alcohol, as beer as well. If you're gonna bring beer, don't bring like two by fours and stick them in the fridge and be like, these are mine, put your name on it.
Yeah.
This is a situation where we're sharing with everyone.
Mm,
Grab a six or grab a 12 pack. You don't have to get a suitcase, but get enough to where people can try, like, this is my favorite beer, I really like this, or
sure.
bring, if like I'm a former bartender, I like to make drinks.
Hmm.
One of the things that I like to do at Super Bowl parties is bring like stuff and make drinks for people.
Okay.
Like where I can make like a pitcher of margaritas so like everybody can share,
Hmm.
or something along those lines. That's one of the things that I like to do at Super Bowl parties. I like to make drinks. I'm not an
Sure. That makes
alcoholic,
sense.
but I like to enjoy, making stuff for people. That's what I like to do.
Mm. I know that makes sense to me. I think you make a good point with like with regard to like drinks and alcohol. I think if you're gonna bring, especially if it's a social setting that you know everybody
Yeah.
or you know most people, let's say, if you want to bring your favorite four beers, like you know you're gonna have those four, that's fine. You
Yeah.
just stick them in there. But at the same time, like I can understand the idea of bringing enough for you, but it's a social setting. Like the idea of don't show up empty-handed still applies. If you're bringing something for you and only you,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
empty-handed.
Yeah. Yeah. You're a selfish person.
Even with the guy who shows up with 1 2 liter of Coke for 12 or 15 people, it's like you didn't even try. Like you should have
Didn't
just
even
come
try.
with nothing
Right.
at that
And
point.
and therefore you are not allowed to partake in anything,
Yeah. And
Nobody nobody likes the guy that brings the 2 liter of soda because we know who you are, you know, and you're walking around and your plate is filled like you're not going to eat again for 3 days, and we're all staring at you
Yeah, like you brought
silently and probably not so silently judging you
you get
on
one
your choices as a
15th
human being.
of 2 liters of soda. That's your
Yes.
contribution.
Yes, you get 1/8 of a 2 liter of soda. That's what you get. But one thing that I will mention too, if you really want to be the MVP of the party, bring a bag of ice.
See, now
It, it's
I
that's
think the
it's
opposite.
no, it's so underrated. The idea of when, especially if you have a big party, if you've got like 10, 15 people,
Mhm.
and everyone's drinking, whether it's mixed drinks or whether it's soda or whatever, you can never have enough ice. You're always going to run out. The refrigerator ice store only holds enough for like, 3 cups of ice. And
I'd
and
like
then
it
all
to
of a
be
sudden
known
it's
that I have
empty. And
3
we're
ice
all drinking.
trays.
No, no, ice trays is a give up.
It's like
You know?
I don't have a refrigerator that makes ice. Like
Uh,
I have ice trays like a caveman.
but it's like, I mean, eventually you're gonna run out of ice, and you're gonna be drinking, your Dr. Pepper at room temperature in your red Solo cup, and you're just gonna be miserable because here in America we like our drinks to be as cold as possible, unlike some other cultures.
I think this might be a regional thing because here, like in the Northeast, when the Super Bowl is happening, it's cold. So like
Yeah,
if you bring like an excess of drinks, we usually just put them outside because they stay cold. You don't need ice or room in the refrigerator when outside is as cold as the refrigerator.
that's brilliant. I mean, that's using your noodle
And
there,
that's
you
I think
know?
that's why I'm like the person who brings ice is a schmuck, especially at for a Super Bowl party. Like I think if you're coming to a barbecue and you bring ice or something like that, that's fine. That's an easy thing to get and bring. I do want to say that I understand that we're saying that like oh the guy who brings a 2 liter Coke is a schmuck and he doesn't do anything. If I recognize that there are some people who lack the resources to really either make something or bring something, and the easiest workaround, like if someone was nice enough to invite you to their home for something like that, just maybe reach out and say like hey, like do you want me to show up early and help you set some stuff up. And I think you can kind of like earn your keep in quotes and show up and help out, or stay a little
Stay
later
late.
and yeah help clean
Stay
some
late and
stuff
help
up.
clean up.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that you can do that aren't bringing something to eat or to drink or anything like that, but without being ungrateful or without looking or seeming ungrateful to the host who's extended their home and their resources, etc. That's
Yeah,
definitely
I
something
agree.
that's important. If you can't bring anything, maybe reach out and be like hey, like, or if you don't know what to bring, ask him, like ask the host, be like hey, like is there anything you guys need? Maybe they do need ice.
Right. Uh, knowing like my wife and how she is, if we were ever to host a Super Bowl, she would probably just designate people to bring stuff.
Sure.
You
And
know,
that's like
she's
I'm
very
really
organized.
I'm a very good direction follower. So if
Yeah.
I'm delegated, bring this. I'll bring
Yeah.
that. Um
Yeah. Those are the real heroes, that they create the Google Doc with the spreadsheet of here's what this person's bringing this and this person's bringing this, and yeah, I mean, organize the better.
the delegator is the hero of the party. The micromanager is not. That's what I will say. A Google Doc of who's bringing what, that might be a little too much for me. Like from an organizational standpoint. Okay, so what's your final say on what's too much and what's too little? All obvious like resource related issues aside.
I think the key is communication. Reaching out and saying, I think the best thing you
Sure.
can do is be like, hey, what do you need me to bring? What do you need? You know, a lot of the time a host kind of has a lot of
Hmm.
things covered. Sometimes the host is just like, I have the biggest TV among all of the people that we hang out with, but I have no idea how to handle myself as a human
Hmm.
because all I eat all day is cereal. Not
Look,
not
you
to
don't
your
have to
face.
call me out like that.
There you
Big
go.
TV and cereal. That's it.
But
That's my brand.
just communication is key. Be thoughtful. Be a thoughtful human being. Don't be a piece of trash.
True. Everybody write that down. Don't be a piece of trash. If you've made it this far, thanks for listening. We'll be back next month to discuss some confectionery chaos, and we're going to settle the debate on red velvet.
A truly misrepresented cake.
Fuck off. This has been the Fatpants Podcast.